I'm at the airport right now, flying from LaGuardia to Denver, Colorado, going back home from work. And I figured I have a few minutes, I'll try to shoot a quick video, kind of vlog style. I don't do this often, but this is exciting. I'm currently reading Revelation Space by Alastair Reynolds. Just started, maybe a tenth of the way through it, and it's really good so far, so I'm excited about that. I really think it's going to be a good book, and it's the type of book that allows me kind of to get back into proper science fiction. I just finished reading with Jonathan from Words in Time and Robin from Bookspin. We did a buddy read, and we read Klara and the Sun, and it was fantastic. I think all three of us liked it to a certain extent, more or less. Some things more, other things a little bit less about it, but we all had a great time reading that book. It's just such an easy book to read. If you haven't read Klara and the Sun, I recommend it. Now, this isn't going to be a whole review of the book. We are going to do a video together. It's going to be on Jonathan's channel, Words in Time. I'll let you know when to check it out. And I think it's going to be a fascinating conversation on Ishiguro, on the book itself, and also on the movie that's coming out, because there's going to be a movie. I think they're shooting it now. I don't know, I read quickly just some notes on it. I have to check, but the movie I think is going to be possibly really good. And we actually are going to tie the book to the movie. So we're going to talk about the book and how well it's adaptable. Some books are obviously very difficult to adapt. Hyperion is probably the one that comes to mind, where I think it's next to impossible to do justice to the book. Hyperion would be a tough one. House of Suns also might be a difficult one at all. I'd love to see that one. Anyway, I think Klara, no spoilers here, was a great read. Fabulous. Klara is a character that I connected to right away. She's an AF, artificial friend, basically standing for AI in human form, an android, and a fabulous character. She's gonna go on my pantheon of my favorite non-human characters in science fiction, and Klara and the Sun is definitely science fiction, even though it didn't read as such. It's very literary. Ishiguro, of course, is someone who won Nobel Prize in Literature, so I expected him, for some reason, to be a little bit more difficult to read. I thought maybe the vocabulary, the syntax, something I expected to be different about it than it turned out to be. It was very straightforward, very easy. And I did see an interview with him where he talked about the book, Klara and the Sun, originally. We'll wait for that. All right, so yeah, originally Ishiguro thought this book would be a book for kids. He had the idea for Klara and the Sun as a book for kids.
The direction Klara and the Sun came from was a completely different direction. It was the world of small children's books. And I literally had a little story for young children.
And that was very interesting, because I think it would be a fascinating book for kids, but he had his daughter read it, and she thought that this was too dark, that the themes in the book were just a little bit too much. So he changed the idea and decided to write a full story, full novel. But because of that, it reads very easily. I think he, as he was writing the book, was seeing images, pictures, kind of from picture books for kids. And it definitely comes through. So the world building is a little bit lacking, maybe in some respects, a little bit mysterious in others. Also, Klara is, our main character is the first person narrator. So we're seeing the world through her eyes. And Klara, the artificial friend, is a very interesting character, but she has this high emotional intelligence, but at the same time is lacking a lot of knowledge of the world. This book takes place in some undisclosed future or alternate reality to our current time. Fascinating book. It feels like a fable, really easy to read, really interesting, powerful book. Also emotionally, it touched me. The character of Klara was fascinating to me. I connected with Klara right away. The book is divided into parts, and part one, when Klara is, no spoilers here, but when Klara is on display in a store waiting to be purchased, was perhaps my favorite, because I connected very quickly with Klara, with her outlook on life. She's innocent, she's pure, and she is discovering the world of humans, the world at large, slowly. It seems like she has a lot of emotional intelligence, but perhaps her programming did not feed her a ton of information about just regular things. And this combination of high emotional intelligence and this childlike wonder makes for such a captivating read. Yeah, it was powerful. I really enjoyed it. The book really at its heart is about love, different types of love, different types of connections. So it's really not a typical science fiction read. So yeah, I also read Simak's Way Station recently, and I have to say I liked it a lot, I think, but I was also disappointed by it in some ways. The reason I was disappointed is I think the expectations. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I read City by Simak, and I like that book a lot. And most people who have read Simak feel that Way Station is his best book. And there was just something there that did not connect with me. The story I thought was good. It was interesting. The idea, fascinating idea about this way station for travelers throughout the galaxy. This way station is on Earth. The book has this very beautiful pastoral feel to it. I think that's when it really shines. The descriptions of nature are great. What didn't work maybe for me was the main protagonist. I thought, considering how long he's lived and what he must have seen over the years, as far as aliens visiting him all the time, he was not that interesting. There was another character, a girl, deaf mute girl, who I thought was so much more interesting, and she plays a big part in the story. She definitely plays a big part in this story. She is important to the eventual outcome of what happens. But I wished there was just a little bit more about her. I thought she was fascinating, yeah. So overall, it was like a 3.5 star read. Way Station, Klara and the Sun was a 5-star read for me. Just I had such a good time reading that book, and of course, I'm hoping now that Alastair Reynolds, getting back to Alastair Reynolds with Revelation Space, is gonna be a hit for me. House of Suns is one of my all-time favorite books. His books, but overall, just one of my all-time favorite science fiction stories. Such a fabulous, propulsive, quick space opera, huge galaxy-spanning adventure, and I'm hoping Revelation Space is in the same vein. I know Revelation Space is his first book, his first novel, and it's, from what I've heard, it's not the best in the series, but from what I've read so far, I'm already hooked. The premise, the ideas, the world building is fascinating, so I'm having fun with it. Let me know if you've read. Sorry about that. I think they're crushing some ice behind me. Let me know if you've read Revelation Space, or Way Station, or Klara and the Sun, or if you're planning on reading any of those. Yeah, so it's a beautiful morning at LaGuardia. Can't wait to get home in Colorado, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.